Hello everyone, Giltar here with a model kit review. This time we'll be looking at the 1 to 144 scale high-grade Universal Century FA-93HWS Nu Gundam. Now this is an upgrade or update of the RX-93 Nu Gundam model kit. You are getting some extra bits and pieces, so I will be splitting this review into two parts, where in the first part I'll go over the model kit details, the accessories and articulation, and then in part two I'll finish up any other details I might have missed and go into my pros and cons and my final thoughts. Now I'm starting off this review with a scale comparison because the RX-93 is one of the larger, probably like the second tallest Gundam there is. I think the Unicorn's like 22.1 meters or so. Whereas the RX-93 or the FA-93HWS here is at 22 meters tall at the head. To its left, or our left and its right, we see the RX-782 Gundam, which is 18.5 meters at the top of its V-fin. So we do see a significant difference in height. And then I have the 1 to 100 master grade RX-782 one-year war model kit on the right side here, just to show you how the Nu Gundam stacks up to an average master grade kit. So I'll move these guys aside. Now the original RX-93 Nu Gundam high grade Universal Century kit came out in March of 2008, retails in at 2,500 yen, or about essentially $26 American currently. The heavy weapon system version came out 13 months later in April of 2009 and retails in at 2,800 yen, or about $29 or so American. The main points, or actually the points rather, of the upgrades are the extra bit for the shield, this Hyper Mega Rifle, front skirt additional armor, or rather larger armor pieces, armor for the lower legs, a chest armor piece, shoulder cannons, or missile pods rather, and extra armor for the back skirt. Now with respect to the accessories, I'll start off with the fin funnel here, or fin funnels. Because I don't know if you guys can notice it on camera, but the weight of all the accessories on this model makes it very tipsy. It leans to its left, and I can see that the weight of this model can cause possibly a more rapid deterioration of the joint strength. But anyways, starting off with the fin funnels, very solid, nice bit of accessories, and I say accessories because there are 6 fin funnels. Now they are connected by little plastic tabbed pieces, as you can see here, and you can flip them in if you don't want to use them, or flip them out when you intend to connect them together. And they connect into a small gap on the side here. Now as far as articulation, pretty standard for fin funnels. It can bend at 2 points to create a standard fin funnel sort of flying fork where you can emit energy or create the shield, and you can also configure it in other manners and flip it down and create these kinds of shapes. So these are really nice accessories, but again, they can contribute to the weight problem that this model kit has. On the left arm, we have the standard RX-93 shield with this big huge shield attachment with these thrusters on the bottom. And the original shield itself, I'll just unclip it for you guys. Don't want to damage it. The original shield, as you can see here, I will mention that none of this model has any stickers or panel lining or paint or anything. I like to review these models untouched so that you guys can get an idea of what it looks like right out of the box without any extra effort aside from assembly. Now the shield attachment is a standard rotational clip, and this little sort of a clip has small nubs on each side where they clip into these gaps into the forearm armor on the Gundam's left arm here. Aside from that, I think these are like little missiles, and I think this is like a beam cannon, because I remember from Char's counterattack, there's a point where Amuro lifts his shield and he fires from it, but it's energy and not these little missiles. Now, as you can see, these shoulder missile pods are actually they don't have a lot of articulation, but they do wiggle a little bit, just to let you guys know. This Hyper Mega rifle here, I'll just remove the hand, which is using a trigger finger grip hand, is pretty nice. Some people may not like the overall white color scheme because it can tend to make it sort of bland, but there's actually quite a bit of nice sculpted detail on the rifle surface, so you can definitely bring things out by doing some panel lining and some coloring. I believe on the front, these two, I don't know if they're sensors or cameras, you can put like red foil stickers on them. Now in the front part of the barrel, you can see I've got it deployed so that one side has a stand flipped out and the other side has it secured. It isn't actually an articulated piece. It's actually a pegged piece, so that you either peg it in to the side or peg it in standing up here. So, and if you have both pieces out, then you can have the rifle sort of positioned like that where it'll stand by itself. And also, here's the standard RX-93 beam rifle. I don't know if you guys can make it out. You probably can't because of the lighting and my camera's lack of ability to focus well at certain times. It has a peg, a rectangular peg on the right side of the grip, and the right trigger finger hand has a rectangular port that you can help secure any of these, or rather either one of these two rifles in. It's a really nice feature. It's a shame that it only has one trigger finger hand. I would have liked to have both a right and a left trigger finger hand so it could, sort of wield two rifles at the same time. Aside from that, the other hand is a standard sort of open hand for more different sort of dynamic posing, I guess. It does come with two closed fist hands, which I'm not a big fan of. I mean, I just don't see the point of having closed fist hands because you don't really need to make it, The thing is that it comes with an open grip hand that's also a fist. You can use either one, but this one has an extra bit of functionality in that it can actually hold something, like the beam saber, which is stored in the backpack. And the beam saber here has a flip-up sort of knuckle guard or a knuckle bow, and it stores in the grip hand like this, pretty nicely. You can put a beam saber blade at the top and a shorter one at the bottom. I'll show you that right now. Basically, here's the long and here's the short over here that goes at the pommel. The nice thing about the long blade is that it is flared. It has like a sort of a fiery look to it, whereas this sort of more uniform beam saber blade goes for its shorter beam saber, and this is more traditional, where this one takes on kind of like the appearance of the beam sabers in Char's Counterattack, where they had a more fiery, flaring appearance to the blades. Now, with respect to the second beam saber, the forearm harness or holster here is nice. It slides up, so that's a bit of articulation. It's on a peg that can swivel out, and I'll just have to take it off the peg here. It's a circular peg, and this is a short beam saber hilt, which also fits nicely into the grip hand because the part near the tip or the emitter section is wider, so that when you put it in, it holds, the grip hand has no problem holding it. And also I like the way that the grip hand has a diagonal positioning for what it's holding, so it has a more natural look to the beam saber positioning when you hold it in the model's hand. Another accessory is the new Hyper Bazooka. And like the beam rifle here, both accessories have really great sculpted details and can really benefit from extra panel lining. And I intend to paint this in the late spring or summer once the weather gets more friendly to spray painting outdoors. And the bazooka here does have a swivel handle, and again, the grip here, just like the beam rifle and Hyper Mega rifle, has a rectangular peg. Now, with respect to articulation, starting off with the legs, the feet can go up and down or back and forward quite well. It can rotate as well, but the ankle armor gets in the way. It can wiggle side to side a bit, not too much, but it does help with wider leg stances. The front skirt armor are independent pieces that go up that far, and the leg can go up that far in the front, but since the side or back skirts rather are immobile, you can't move the leg back that far. And the knees have pretty good articulation when you consider the bulk of the legs. They are double jointed, and it can move about maybe 110, 120 degrees. The side skirts can rotate and swivel a little bit. The waist can turn, but because of all the armor around and the backpack, it can't really do a full rotation or even a half rotation. You have to really maneuver things around. The arms themselves at the shoulders do swivel front and back a bit, but because of the big armor, it gets in the way, and it goes up and down a bit as well. As standard, it rotates at the shoulder, below the shoulder, at the elbow. It bends at the elbow just above 90 degrees, And again, the wrists are pretty standard as well. They can rotate and wiggle. The head itself can go back and forth quite nice and rotate, but everything's in the way. And the neck component is something I'm going to point out in part 2 once I get this armor off. Aside from that, I think that's pretty much for articulation. So I'll be back in part 2 with the rest of the review. Thank you all for watching.